Hi, my name is Claire and I really like to knit. In this podcast episode, I'm going to show you some of my WIPs, my finished objects, and just a couple of little things that I bought recently. If you like that kind of stuff, please keep watching. Now, I have had a couple of vlogs on the go for a while, but I'm not sure if they'll ever get finished. So I'm going to be talking about them here today in the podcast, and I will tell you why with each one. I mean, the first one is the Corbis, which I had mentioned before. I started the Corbis, loved it, Mum loved it more, so she stole it. And now she's actually given up on it, and it's just sitting there. It's been a couple of months and she's not giving it back. So that vlog's never going to get finished. It's likely that we're going to be frogging it because she doesn't feel it fits her body shape, and it is definitely way too big for me. So that was a shame, but when I do get it back, I will show you. Let's start with the finished objects first. I haven't been on here for a few weeks now because I have been working on two test knits. One of them is a bit more secret, one's kind of secret as well, but they're both done and they're full jumpers. So there was a lot of work, lots of cabling, lots of details, and they're both absolutely beautiful. So I can't wait to share with you once they're released. One of them is by Marzena Kolaczek. I've test knitted for her many times and her garments are always romantic and beautiful. So if you want to check out my Marzena collection video, you can do that here, and make sure you follow her on Instagram so that you know when this new pattern will be released. The second test knit I just completed is for Norah Gaughan. Norah is one of my heroes. She does beautiful knitwear patterns for, I don't know, many decades, and I have made many of her things. Here's a quick list. I have made her aspen sweater, and it is a DK weight cable sweater with a very interesting construction, and I wear it when I go somewhere really cold because it's actually quite thick. I've made the stag head jumper. It's from her cable source. It's from her book, Knitted Cable Source book. It looks like it's got a little stag on the front, which is super cute, and I wear it all the time and get lots of compliments. I've made the ladder cardigan, and that is from her Knit Pleat Repeat book. And it's just a short little cardi with, again, very interesting construction. She is so smart and it's so comfortable, it looks cute, and I wear that all the time too. The Deliciosa, I think that may be her first pattern I've ever made. And it's got little hearts or peaches on it, and Mum's made one as well, and I get compliments every time I wear it. Just love it. I've made the Wilson. I found this pattern in the Knitter magazine, which I found in the library, and it was a full jumper, but I made it into a vest because I just had a couple of balls of this bright pink yarn and I wanted to make something with it. So I made the Wilson and had a big beetle on the front, which is so cute. Very quick knit and gorgeous. And lastly, I've made Arbor, which is a long cardigan with intricate cables in the back and front. When I first made it, I wore it a lot, but I haven't worn it for a few years because I made it with a superwash yarn, and I really don't like wearing superwash yarn, and hence I never use it again until this one, but we'll talk about that later. So I never used superwash yarn again because it's so heavy and it's a little bit too drapey. It drags down, especially with a big cardigan like this. It was so heavy, just kept falling off my shoulders, just won't stay on, didn't have a nice structure. So I guess I can try and find a pin or make a button or something, but I haven't worn it for a while. Probably should because it is a really beautiful cardigan. Anyway, but Norah is a genius. The jumper is called Checkered, and it's still in test knitting phase. I finished it pretty quickly because I'm a quick knitter, and I will let you know when it's released because it's gorgeous. Mum's already stolen it because it looks a lot better on her, so she's already taken it home, but I did take photos, so I'll show you when it's done. So that's two finished objects, and then the last finished object is this one. Isn't it cute? I just finished this one yesterday. I put it on Instagram and I've had so many comments and likes for this top. So this top is made from a recent acquisition. Actually, I bought this last Saturday. Today's Friday. I bought this yarn on Saturday. Our local yarn store, the Yarn Bowl, had a little market on. So she invited local hand dyers to come and set up a little market last Saturday and have like a little market day. It was such a good idea. So I got this kit from Ash and Eve Designs, and it was 6 mini skeins of a baby Suri alpaca lace weight, 400 meters per 50 grams. So it was 6 hanks of 20 grams, which was 120 grams in these rainbow colors. And I didn't know what to do with them, but I feel like I wanted to knit with it straight away because I love rainbow and I love pastel. So I was thinking about it for a couple of days, and then I remembered on Pinterest I've had this jumper pinned for a while because it was just really cute and bright. It's by NYPD. I think they sell kits. So I thought this one was perfect, and I did some maths and I cast it on straight away. So the main body is made by the Suri lace by Ash and Eve, and I held 2 strands, and then the gold is this beautiful gold thread. So this is a yarn I was gifted by a Japanese friend quite a few years ago, many years ago. She gave me this in a few different colors, and I didn't know what to do with it because it's really thin, it's polyester. For this it's perfect, but otherwise I don't really know what to do with it. I don't know how many years ago I actually used this and crocheted a singlet. It was a very meshy singlet. There was no way I can wear it because it was just too meshy and I don't know how to style it. So when I decided to make this, and I remembered I had this yarn, I went and unpicked my crochet singlet. Now that took a whole day. I think Monday, pretty much Monday, I was unpicking this. Crochet shouldn't be hard to unpick, but I guess I hit all the ends really well. And I couldn't remember how I crocheted, so I had to figure out which direction to unravel from. Every end I found was the starting one, wasn't the ending one, so I couldn't unravel it. I had to go back and try to figure out where the right end was. And then when I was unpicking, the sequin keeps getting stuck, so I had to like gently tug it, so the sequin will keep coming out. And I think I forgot how I made it, and it turned out there was like at least 7 different pieces. Anyway, it took me all day to unravel it. It's definitely worth it because this is very high quality. Even though it's polyester, it doesn't like lose its bounce. It's got really good integrity. It's got these really cute sequins as well. Japanese stuff is always very well made. So yes, I used about 90 grams of the suri altogether. This is what's left, only these. If you're interested in how I drafted up this pattern, I will talk about that now. Otherwise, skip to the next bit. I'll maybe put some timestamps on, I'm not sure. But basically, I drew it up in my little grid here. I knew that I want slightly positive ease, not too much. So I ended up with about 15 centimeters of positive ease. First, I did a gauge swatch. This one here. As you can see, it is not very long. Oh, I must have unpicked it. Yeah, I unpicked some of it already because firstly I did it 1 strand. I didn't like the 1 strand, and I did some swatch with double strand, so I unpicked that. But it was only maybe this much. You know what's about to come next. I did a swatch, got the gauge, which I thought was 15, did some calculations and cast it on the necessary amount of stitches. I also worked out the length that I wanted and divided that by 6. So I knew, because I had 6 colors, so I knew each segment was about 7 centimeters. So all I did was start to knit here, got to nearly 7 centimeters, and I did 2 rows of the gold. To do the gold, it was just knit 2 together and yarn over all through, which gave me these lace eyelets, and then the next row just knit before I changed color. So that was 7 and that's 7, and I just continued doing that. When I got to the purple, I realized my top was way too big. It was maybe 130 wide. So I measured the gauge and it was way off. It was about 12 stitches. And in my little gauge, teeny little gauge, I got 15 stitches because I didn't gauge big enough. So I had to unravel the whole thing and start again and cast on the right number of stitches now to fit this. Okay. And after that, it was pretty smooth sailing. I did my 4 colors up to the armhole, which was about 28 centimeters. Don't know how far you can see. 4 colors. I knew, but before I did all of that, I organized the colors. I laid them all out. I knew I wanted the pink closest to my face because this is my favorite shade, and I didn't like the peach so much, so I had that down the bottom. Yes, finished 4 colors, and I started doing back and front separately. So front piece only in the yellow, and then pink. When I got to the shoulder, I just did some short rows to shape the shoulder and the neckline. I didn't want to pick it up because I want to keep it really simple. So to do that, I short rowed the neck here, and I short rowed the shoulders all at the same time, and now I bind it off all in one go. So I bind off from here all in one go, which means there is no laddering at all. And I do that with most of my necklines now because it's easy to do and it just looks really nice and smooth, and also makes it really easy to pick up stitches if I do want to do picked up stitch neckline. So I did 6 rows of short rows here to lift this a little bit, and then did the same in the back. I had these on the holders so that I could do some 3 needle bind off. Nice, right? It's got a really nice seam. And then when this is all joined, I measure my armhole, which was about 20. And then calculate the number of stitches for 20 front, 20 back, so 40. And then cast that on, did the same thing. Then I thought I wanted to do full stripes. So all of these are 13 rows, and I thought I wanted to do full stripes on the sleeves. However, there wasn't enough for 2 sleeves to do 13 rows. As you can see, I used up all of my pink and I only got 9 rows on each side, which is much more narrow than here. So rather than having a few narrow stripes, which I think wouldn't look nice together, I just did 2 different color sleeves. So that means I had enough yarn for 13 rows of yellow and 13 rows of green, and just have a little bit of each left. I didn't get to use any more of the other colors, so there is more left of these. And I don't want to waste them, so I still have to think of something to do with them. Go back to the beach. These. I don't know. We'll see. It does look so much nicer with the pink in it. And then I did 7 rows of ribbing and then try to bind it off really loosely. This one's loose enough, this one's a little bit tight. I should go back and do it again, but I can't be bothered because I'm wearing it now and I love it. I finished it yesterday afternoon and I wore it out straight away. Mum and I went to see the Jean-Paul Gaultier Freaky fashion show. It was fantastic. I've watched maybe 10 burlesque shows in my life and I would say this one's the best. I don't think Brisbane Festival promoted it very well because it was pretty empty. But oh my god, the production was just fantastic. They have been touring the world, so if you ever get a chance to go and watch it, please do. Jean-Paul Gaultier's Freaky fashion show. The fashion, the dancing, the choreography, the music, just everything was very entertaining. I loved it. Anyhow, so this is my finished object. Hopefully by next video, I'll be able to show you my 2 other ones that I had finished making. But yes, let's move on to whips. Let me just come back in and add one more whip, which I completely forgot about. My yellow lacy top. I finished this several weeks ago, so I haven't filmed since then. So it's called the Precious Knit Pullover, and I finished this 3 weeks ago. Has it been a while since I filmed? Yeah, I finished this 3 weeks ago. I had been working on it for quite a while, and I made it with the Woolly Yarns silk linen. So it's got some silk and some linen. It's absolutely beautiful. I washed it and it stretched out a lot more as well. It's just drapey. It's a dream. It's a little bit warm to wear it now, but I just absolutely love it. It came out of the Ketodama magazine. And it's just a very simple lace pattern. I adapt a little bit just to knit in the round. Everything else I follow pattern. Can't say anything bad about it. I just loved it. Easy to knit. The yarn was perfect. The pattern's beautiful. And now I just have to find some occasions to wear it. So yes, I actually have 4 FOs. Yay! So active whips, I have 3 of them at the moment and 1 dormant. My grey jumper, which I haven't touched for a while because these are a little bit more time sensitive, kind of. The first one is the Moonglow by Zanete Knits. I have been working on this for nearly a month now, but because I got distracted by working on my 2 other test knits, it hasn't been touched too much. I am slowly making progress. The reason I haven't been working on this so much is because the lace pattern is huge. Probably can see better on the back. See, it's a huge lace pattern. It's got like a 70 row repeat. So I have to be next to my computer. I didn't print it out. I have to be next to my computer when I'm making it. And so it's not very portable, but I really like it. It's really starting to come together. I've done the I-cord for the neck and I've done the I-cord for one of the armholes, and I'm going to do the I-cord today for the second armhole. That means I just have to work on the body now and it should be smooth sailing from there. It's a Woolly Yarns linen and I'm holding it 2 strands because it's a fingering, so I'm holding it 2 strands. It's mostly linen with a little bit of lurex in it. Woolly yarns, they don't twist it, so it's very easy to split especially when I'm doing cables. I've got to be really careful with it. It's very stiff. I'm hoping when I wash it, it'll soften a lot. Of course, I didn't swatch or wash, but I know, I have heard linen softens a lot, so let's hope that happens, because right now it's really stiff and plasticky feeling, so hopefully that won't happen after I wash it. I think it's going to look really good after I wash it. Yeah. So this is whip. Second whip. This one has been on the needle for such a long time. I did start making a blog about it, but because there are now so many chapters, I really feel like I'm losing the plot, and I can't keep going because it's, yeah, it will be too much editing because of the number of chapters and issues that have come up. So I'm just going to talk about it as I'm knitting now. Quick overview of what this jumper is. So this is the original jumper that I'm making. This is the inspiration. I have a really good friend I went to school with. She now lives back in Taiwan, her home country. She really appreciates my knitting. Every time she comes back, she goes through my wardrobe, touches everything, asks me questions. You know, when someone really appreciates your knitting and asks you to help them knit something, I'm going to do it. People who don't appreciate it, I'm not going to knit for them, my kids. So she asked me, she said this is her favorite jumper. She put it in the wash, or I think she sent it to a dry cleaner, and the fibers started disintegrating. And can I make her a new one? At first, I didn't believe that the fibers could be disintegrating. I said, it's just bits of ends, just tuck it in. And then as I'm handling it, I can see there is no integrity to this fiber anymore. It just keeps popping out and bits are falling off it. Just such a shame. It's by Jill Stewart, which is not a cheap brand. Like these bits, they just keep coming out and falling apart. It almost feels like a polyester shag pile. Yeah. So I said, yeah, I'll knit it for you. It looks pretty easy. Just a simple cable design cardigan. And she said she liked it because of the color and because of the shape. So first I had to find the color, which I did. Where's the cone? Here. How similar is this? This is from woollyyarns.com. Of course, being such a weird color, I didn't think I'd be able to find it, but you go on woollyyarns.com, set the filter to green, and it appeared straight away. This is 100% Super Cash by Loro Piana. If you haven't heard me talk about Loro Piana before, they are a luxury Italian brand, and all of their clothes are thousands of dollars. And Woolly Yarns just happen to sell all of their yarns, which I think is from the production factory leftovers or something. So I ordered it. I got 350 grams, which is usually what I need for a jumper. My friend's similar size, just a lot taller. After I started knitting with it, I realized being a super cash, it's called super cash, I think it's super wash because it's really, really smooth. This one's about a 16 stitch gauge, and for me to get 16 stitches, I had to hold this 4 strands. It's a fingering weight. I had to hold 4 strands to get even close to this because it's super wash. It's a lot, especially for untwisted yarn. 4 strands. Let me find a strand here. 4 strands is this much, and I don't know if you can see, but there are about 40 strands of gossamer thin fibers, which is not twisted, and I'm cabling. Oh my gosh. I just kept splitting the yarn. That is one issue. Just had to be really careful and fully focused. And then secondly, I just keep having trouble with the sizing. I tried to do a 4x4 cable, copying it to start with. But 4x4 cable is really tight when you hand knit and kept pulling the fabric in, and I just couldn't get the gauge right. And it looked a lot thicker as well, not flat. Like, it wasn't flat like this. So I ripped it all back out. So what I did initially was to start with front piece only, do some ribbing and do the cable. And after I tried to do that cable, it just became too tight. So I ripped it out and started again. And I went to Norah Gaughan's knitted cable source book and found another cable, which is this one here. It's a 10 stitch repeat and looks like a spiral column. I really like it. It doesn't make the fabric too tight, but still looks like a really interesting cable. And I think it's more elegant than the 4x4. What do you think? And so I had to increase my stitch count and change the cable, which started to work out. For the button band, I decided to knit it at the same time because I'm lazy. I don't want to knit it later. So I just did a half slip stitch on the ribbing every other row, and the front is fully ribbed. So otherwise, if I just rib the front, it always becomes too long. If I do a half slip stitch, it's perfect, I find, for my tension. I did the front, 2 front pieces, and I started on the back. And then Mum came over and she's like, yeah, doesn't look right. That looks way too tight. So I held it up against the sample again, and yes, it was way too tight, because the back piece had 4 cable repeats, the front pieces only had 3. So when I had 4 cable repeats, it pulled the fabric in even more, so the back panel became too narrow. Then I had to unpick it and do it again. So I unpicked all the way down to the armhole, did the tension a little bit looser. Apparently my tension got tighter as well, and I didn't cable the edges here. So initially I had cable here as well. So now it's a lot wider. I also gave this a wash, because I remember superwash stretches a lot in the wash. So the back piece, I gave it a wash yesterday, and I think finally the sizing is right, finally. But now I'm re-knitting the front pieces because I still feel like the cables are too tight. So yeah, going back to the 2 front pieces to unpick it here, and then just doing this part. Anyway, also when I was halfway through the back panel, I realized I didn't have enough yarn, because I had to hold 4 strands to achieve the knit gauge. Is using up a lot of yarn. So 350 grams, I needed 700. So I had to go and order another 350 grams just in case. And now I think it'll work out. Yeah, I think it'll be enough now. But yeah, I had to double the yarn usage as well. So this is becoming a very expensive jumper too. I still have to finish the 2 front pieces, do the neckline, do the sleeves. Oh God. I'm starting to lose confidence because I've made so many mistakes. It's been on the needles for so long, ripping back many times. Yeah, I've lost confidence. If this was for myself, I may have given up, but it's for my friend. Also, she's coming back to Australia to visit in 17 days. So I'm on a 17-day deadline. I know if I put my mind to it, I should be able to do it, because it's very loose gauge and I'm already halfway there. But yes, I just need a kick up the bum and continue, and hopefully have it done by 17 days. Well, I have it done by then. You will know when I film the next podcast. Now my third whip, I really shouldn't be casting on a third whip, but I am going to, because I signed up for another test knit. This test knit is for Gregoria Fibers. Anna is very popular, so I was very happy to be chosen as one of her test knitters for her new design. She is, I've only made one of her designs in the past, the Frida top, and I made some heavy modifications to it. So Gregoria Fibers, she does very simple Norwegian minimalistic designs, and they are really cute, but most of them are very oversized. I haven't made many of them. This one doesn't look too oversized, and it's just very simple. It's got a contiguous shoulder construction, which I've always wanted to try. I've even got a book about it, and I was planning to do it next, because I had some ideas for some t-shirts I wanted, so I was going to try it. But now I get to test knit it and try out the method before I have to try and draft it myself and make mistakes, which is perfect. So the yarn she called for was Isega Eco Soft, held with alpaca 2. I didn't want to go and buy yarn because I have so much, so I swatched this yarn here. And this is a decent size swatch, right? Who even am I? I even washed it. This is washed and dried. I've never washed and dried any swatches before. But because I was a little bit worried about the tension, I thought I'll wash it as well. So this is 5mm needle as recommended. The gauge was too loose, and I went to 4.5mm, and that got the gauge of 18 stitches. It's a really beautiful yarn. This yarn, it softened a lot after wash, because the original yarn, it looks like curly hair. So this is from woollyyarns.com. It's 100% cashmere brocade and by the brand Filati. Pretty sure Filati is a very expensive Italian fabric house as well. I bought this cone of 300 grams for 57 euros, which is a bit more expensive than the other yarns I got from them, but it's just so luxurious and beautiful. I'm very happy I got the gauge, and I really want to cast on straight away. But I need to finish the green one, don't I? Will I do this one? Will I do the green one? I don't know. I'll probably do both and leave my Moonglow. Yeah, Moonglow can wait. That one's not in a hurry. Even though we're summer now and that's the only summer knits on my needle, I've got plenty of things to wear. Okay, so that's all my WIPs. I've only bought a little bit of yarn recently because I'm supposed to be on an no-buy, but I did. So when I was at the yarn bowl last Saturday, I bought the Ash and Eve kit. This was $90. It wasn't cheap, but I love it. I think it's worth it. And I also bought this. It's 100% European linen by Woolly Wagtail, and this is a limited edition color, lot 1. Doesn't say what color, but it's a beautiful caramel brown. I think this is my type of brown. Yeah, I really like it. She was very clever because she had all these swatches there, and she's washed the swatches, which is very soft compared to this, and she had lots of colors, so she has swatches of colors being molded together in different combinations, and they all looked beautiful. So of course I was attracted to her because I think every yarn really should have swatches next to them. You know, makes selling them so much easier. But you know, I've got so many wool and cashmere jumpers. I'm into my linen phase at the moment, so I got this, and the plan is to hold 2 strands of this to make the Love Letter top by Veronica Lindbergh. Yeah, I thought I can, you know, look at the picture and figure it out myself, but I'll probably just buy the pattern and not be lazy. And be lazy and not make mistakes. Yeah, Mum bought a very similar one in the end. She got this and this. She was going to mold them together. Again from Woolly Wagtail. This is the same brown as mine, but I think it turns out spotted. You know, last year everyone was knitting those scarves and cowls, and every time they come across a bit of darker color, they'd make a little bauble or flower or something. That's what it was intended for. But Mum says she won't do it. She'll just smile it together and make a color texture. But she doesn't have a plan on what the pattern is yet. She also bought some Team Mohair by Zanete's Garden, but it feels really itchy, so I don't know what she's going to do. I also got these little stitch markers from Ash and Eve, little pom-poms. Oh, 3 packets. 3 in a packet and only $5. What a bargain. There. I can't go past pastel pom-poms. Look at how cute they are. What else did I buy? And then recently I fell down into a rabbit hole of Japanese stationery. When I was in school, I loved Japanese stationery. Even when I was in primary school, I just go to the store and touch everything and play with everything. Never being able to afford them because they are very expensive for school-age kids. But recently I've been watching YouTube and I found jetpens.com. Anyway, they do a lot of YouTube videos introducing cool Japanese stationery, and I fell down the rabbit hole hard, and I found a website which delivers in Australia, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff, and I also went to Daiso and bought a whole bunch of stuff. Even though I'm not a student, I love stationery. So if you want to see, firstly from Daiso I got a teddy bear tape measure because I couldn't walk past it. It is too cute. And I got these little stickers. These are like highlighter stickers. You can put them in textbooks instead of highlighting textbooks. How clever is that? I wish I had these when I was in school. I can also put them in my journal to underline stuff, which looks cute rather than making a mess. Oh, and I got these sticky notes. Love sticky notes. I use this one a lot because Woolly Yarn's cones, they don't come with any information on the yarn, just the serial number. So I always write the information on one of these and stick it inside the cones. And this one is a little grid pad sticky note. And I found this really useful because I can chart out written instructions. So this is the lace pattern for the test knit I'm about to do. It was only written. So I just charted it out. It's going to save me so much time trying to read the written instructions for lace, when it's just such a simple 4-row repeat. So I can pull this out and stick it in the pattern. Super easy to use. Then from a website, which I can't remember what it's called now, I've got a glue tape. I never have to glue stuff, but if I do need to glue stuff, I can glue tape. When I was in school, where was this? Glue tape, precise gluing. I got 3 gel pens. I find I journal a little bit now, and when I go to learning events for business, I do take a lot of notes, and I think having good pen and good paper makes the experience so much nicer. I hate scratchy paper and pen that's not smooth. And when you have smooth pens and nice paper, it just elevates the experience. So these are Japanese gel pens. They're so smooth. It's even got stabilization. So when you write, the inside doesn't wobble. Super stable. How good is that? And I also, of course, got some notebooks. These are MD notebooks. The paper is just absolutely smooth. See, this one lies flat as well. So I'm going to use this for my journal when I finish my current journal. And this has dots in it for bullet journaling. I didn't realize it didn't lay flat, which is going to annoy me a lot. But I think I'll take this one for my learning days for business. And the MD paper is like a cream color. So I got this whiteout tape, which matches it perfectly. So this whiteout comes out cream to match this paper. I just love it. It's so over the top, but how can you resist? It's just too cute. I think that's it. Yes, that's all I bought. I'm not going to be buying any more things because I'm still not working and I should not be spending money. I hope you enjoy this. And if you like knitting, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I will rant on and on about knitting forever and ever. And so next I'll show you some videos of me modeling this top. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you here again soon.